Well, hello there, motherfuckers. And we got to talk a little bit about the UK fans. So, a lot happened. Well, some things happened in the UK on Raw and SmackDown. More majorly, the AJ Styles title win. And, that AJ deserves it and all that. He's already won the title once. I think that they should have kept it on Jinder. They should have tried to improve Jinder's title reign. But I guess they gave up, for whatever. They listened to the YWC. And like I said, if there's one thing the YWC likes AJ. I like AJ too. But I thought that Jinder was a step in the right direction of correcting the mind frame of WWE, and trying to get away from, the muscles and the big men. And so Jinder was a nice throwback to when wrestling made sense. But I guess now they're kind of trying to go the other way. But really, what it is that they're trying to please the YWC. Survivor Series is going to be about the dream matches. The AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar. People have been asking for this match for a while. I got to admit, it's an interesting match. It's an intriguing match, to see how it would play out. Of course, it would be better if maybe Brock Lesnar bulldozed AJ Styles, but then again, how would that make the champion look? Well, the thing is, it's like you look at the differences. Remember, Dean Ambrose towered over AJ Styles. Remember that when they were both on SmackDown? I said it in my review. I says, holy shit. I says, AJ is pretty small, and Dean Ambrose, by wrestling standards, isn't even that big of a guy. He's maybe like 6'1", maybe 6'2" the most, standard wrestler size. So AJ is pretty damn short in comparison. And, you're going to see it when he's toe to toe with Brock Lesnar. Now, at least this is a little bit better than, well, actually a lot better than if they were going to do Fuckboy Balor and Brock Lesnar, which is another dream match that the twisted, demented YWC has. So anyway, this takes place, in front of a UK crowd, which is very perplexing to me. First of all, this is not even in the US where, WWE is the most important. That's their base of operations. That's the motherland of WWE. That's the country that the corporation is based out of. So I know they make money in other countries, but mostly they rely mostly on the US. Okay, so this show is also taped, which is really confusing. And the minute the title change happened, the minute the show actually aired, because it was in the UK, so the US is behind by the time it actually aired. It was already done, over, said, and done with. So I mean, I don't even know the time frame. When did they do the show? What day was it technically? I already knew about this title change. It was like Monday night. Are we that far behind the UK in terms of time? But the thing was, it was weird. It was like, why didn't they do this like the previous week while they were in the US? Did they want to do it because they were in front of a rowdy crowd? Did they want to treat the UK fans to something nice? Because usually when they have a show in the UK, it's usually very uneventful. Of course, it's always taped, and it always ends up being some of the worst shows that they put on all year. At least it was that way last year, or, at the beginning of the year, whenever the last UK show was. So, you could clearly see that they were trying to make these shows a bit more eventful. Nothing, you had a tag title change on Raw. You had a world title change on SmackDown. But basically here, the UK fans, how fucking annoying were these bastards? You had on Raw totally disrespecting Enzo. I understand Enzo is a heel, but they chanted boring during his promo. He's the most talented guy on there in terms of mic skills. Whenever this guy gets on the mic, I thank God that at least there's at least one guy on there who knows how to cut a proper promo. At least this is like one guy that actually makes me focus on what's going on the screen. Everybody else makes me doze off or really just like half watch the show. I'm not sometimes like, really when a lot of these guys talk, like fuckboy Balor. I just totally space out. I can't even comprehend what they're saying, even though it's such simple shit, because it's so damn boring and uninteresting and so generic. But at least when Enzo talk, it's captivating. It's energetic. I'm actually paying attention. I'm actually interested in what the guy is saying, and these bozo fans, these Mama Luke goofy Malufi fans. They start booing Enzo, and that they have no choice. They did have a choice. They could have. What about if the announcers actually said this is a little bit. They could have been like, all right, well that's going a little bit too far, saying that it's boring. Remember when JBL used to do that? I used to appreciate that so much. I will never forget that when they put on the match. I remember it was Armageddon 2006. I have the memory like this. You had Jimmy Wang Yang versus Gregory Helms, Cruiserweight Championship. Um, and these guys were wrestling. They were putting on a pretty good match. And the fans were chanting boring. They were chanting stupid shit. And remember, this was during a time when the fans didn't really hijack the shows. The fans acted accordingly. They weren't really overly annoying. Yes, there were what chants. Yes, there were some other undesirable chants. But, they were mostly calm crowds. They would only get rowdy if they were in Canada or if and not even so much the UK. That's why the UK has become even worse and worse, full of more bozos than you could even imagine. It's just grown. It's almost like a fungus. It's grown throughout the UK. Like the fans have only gotten more annoying and annoying as time has passed in the wrestling world. So, they were chanting boring during this match. I remember JBL flew off the handle saying that these guys were putting their bodies on the line in the ring, and these fans, they couldn't even do half this shit. They were being disrespectful, saying that they came to a show and they're disrespecting these athletes that dedicate their lives to their craft in the ring. And he was 100% correct. And I remember I sat back and I was like, I kind of got a chill. I was like, yeah, JBL is 100% right. And, JBL was one hell of a commentator back then. I don't know what happened when he returned, but back then when he wasn't so controlled, and I guess, McMahon didn't overproduce them like he does now, I guess he was allowed to say more of what he really wanted to say. And that was very true. So, you fast forward, almost a decade, and you got WrestleMania 29. I'll never forget it. Then I attended that WrestleMania the night after, though. Didn't attend that Raw. I thought about attending it, but I didn't want to go. I decided against it. I'd already spent enough money on WrestleMania. And so they held it at MetLife Stadium, which is actually no, the Izod Center, which is across the street from MetLife Stadium where WrestleMania was held. And I remember watching on TV, and I remember I thought it was funny at first. These UK fans were fandangoing, they were acting silly. They were chanting the names of the commentators, JBL, Michael Cole, and all these chants, random chants and everything. They were doing the wave and everything, and the announcers were like, wow, what passionate fans. But then this started to get more and more. And yes, there were UK fans. And I remember people made excuses. They said that, okay, the fans were only acting like this, and the fandangoing thing took off. And they were like, that's only because these are the UK fans. And that was true. I saw going back on the train. I remember there was a lot of UK fans at that WrestleMania because everybody comes from around the world. And for some reason, I don't know, the UK is obsessed with wrestling. I don't know what it is, but I guess because they don't come there that often, they only come there maybe twice a year at most. So they were pretty like rowdy people, and but then again, like it went back, and then as the years progressed, it started to be more and more that every single Raw and almost every single pay per view, you started getting "This is awesome" chants, "This is awesome," and all these other moronic chants, these really repetitive, annoying chants from these fucking idiots that didn't know when to shut their mouths during a match, and they kept on doing these chants constantly, night in, night out, night in, night out, night in, night out, and they kept on doing it, and they wouldn't shut the hell up already. This is awesome every single night. That you'd have the more and more that the indie darlings started to infiltrate WWE, it only got worse and worse. But I remember some people said that it started with the CM Punk pipe bomb, a little bit, but not as much as what I'm saying. I noticed that night after WrestleMania, things started to change. WWE had also already started up NXT. And so, it just grew from there. Like I said, like a fucking fucked up fungus. These fans started manifesting and overgrowing themselves and just infesting these arenas with their annoying chants and their annoying selves as well. Let's not forget about them as human beings. They're also annoying fucking human beings, and that's exactly what they were catering to here. And like I said, you heard forget about title changes being catered to and shit like that, and bowing down to the indie darlings, the ones that the fans like. So the thing is, you also had the announcers on commentary bowing down to the fans once again. And like I said, this was nothing new. It only just got more bewildering to me because, the fact that they actually disrespected their own talent. And yes, I know it's Enzo, and I know that the guy is like in the doghouse and they're trying to put the guy through the ringer. So that's understandable. But I've never seen them disrespect the talent so much on the mic, cut his mic. I mean, Corey Graves, I mean, this imbecile, this Mama Luke moron motherfucker. I mean, how dare he on commentary talk about another talent like that? First of all, Corey Graves, what have you accomplished in the ring? You've got yourself a little unique look. I get it. I understand that, but you haven't really accomplished really anything. What did you get yourself? A velocity match, a Sunday Night Heat match, and an NXT title tag title run with Neville? Is that all you have to your name? Nobody even knows who you are. If you actually go into forget about people on the street, they wouldn't even know you. So, you go into the audience and you ask, who is Corey Graves? What did he accomplish? I bet you 75% of these fans wouldn't even know what to say. Like, he's the announcer. Yeah, but what else? Nobody would be able to tell you because you haven't done anything memorable. An NXT tag title run, you couldn't, wait to say, oh, I held the tag title every single time Neville appeared. But Neville was somebody. Neville actually had some notoriety. Neville had something going on, but you don't, and you're not a good commentator. You come up with lame ass catchphrases. If anything, you're actually just as lame as Michael Cole. And that is pretty sad because there's nobody as lame as Michael Cole. Maybe the only person is Brian Sex Addict. I mean, that's probably the only guy who's more lame than Michael Cole, but I'd say you guys are all on equal footing. You look like a guy that might be cool, but it's like an exterior shell. Inside, you're just a boring, lame motherfucker that's very disrespectful. And every single week, I mean, let alone what you say to Booker T every week. I know McMahon's not telling you to say that stuff, but the way how this guy talks to Booker T, like probably I wouldn't even be surprised if the guy is racist against Booker T to say, and you guys know that I am the least politically correct guy. You know that I always talk against that stuff, that people, overuse the word racism. But I take a look at Corey Graves and how he treats Booker T on commentary. Like, that stuff is a shoot. That's not work. That's not fake. The way how he talks to him and tries to embarrass him on commentary, that's not being produced by McMahon. The guy is a disrespectful fucking prick. And that is the truth of the matter. But anyway, getting a little bit off topic. These UK motherfuckers are so annoying, and I think they influence the US fans with their stupid, idiotic chants that they plague WWE to this day, and they make the product even worse, which is really saying something. I mean, the product is already bad, fans or no fans, but the fact that they have actually now started to control creative, and they started getting in McMahon's head. I mean, look at this. Like, not even a week before Survivor Series, we are getting a different match than what was advertised, simply to please internet fanboys because they craved the match. And like I said in my SmackDown review, you put AJ Styles side by side with Brock Lesnar, and you see a clear difference there. Ask anybody, ask one of your friends that's not a wrestling fan. Show them on your phone, show them on your computer. Say, hey, who do you think stands a better chance of beating Brock Lesnar? Show them a picture of AJ Styles, and then show them a picture of Jinder Mahal. Who do you think they're going to say? You don't even have to do it, because if that friend of yours has half a brain, he would say Jinder Mahal, obviously, because he looks like he could match Brock Lesnar when it comes to the physique. And remember, I'm talking about a friend that hasn't seen the product, isn't familiar with these guys. Chances are most people who are not, who've never watched WWE or haven't watched in years probably won't know who AJ Styles is. Probably won't know who Jinder Mahal is, because they're not household names. They're not truly over in the world of entertainment. They might be over in terms of WWE, but not, like, they're not these household names like The Rock or even Batista or John Cena. Nobody knows these guys. So ask your friends, and that would be a telltale sign right there, because if they're going to draw people in, but I guess they're not interested in that anymore. Remember, they're not interested in getting new fans. They like the little niche audience that they have. They like the "this is awesome" goofballs. That's who they're catering to. Why would they? Obviously, who changes the title just, mere weeks before a pay-per-view, unless you're trying to please a group of people? I mean, this is a really sad company. I mean, they don't have a plan for the future. You can clearly see that. The way how they just shifted their titles at the last minute. It just shows that they don't really have a plan. They're just, playing everything by ear, basically, which, if they were more creative, that might actually be a good thing. That way it's more unpredictable. But really, like, what is on the horizon for this company? They're basically doing a Raw versus SmackDown because, this is what they want to do, but they don't even have a storyline leading up to it. It's just magically one night you get an invasion, so it's pathetic. And so now they have these matches, and now they're just trying to please fans and trying to give them matches that they want to see, not matches that would draw people in, but just matches that internet fanboys would enjoy the most. It's a pretty sad state of affairs, and you could thank, in part, the UK fans for doing this. The keyboard warriors, the YWC, the IWC, and the UK fans are a bunch of fucking goofballs, and they have officially helped ruin the product. Yes, it's not just their fault. It's also WWE for actually listening to these idiots. Think about it. Where else do you see this, where a company just caters to the fans, not trying to genuinely put on a good show that would generate more and more fans, but just trying to, please a certain group of people? That is truly fucking sad and depressing. So, You know, this isn't a knock to people who are English or British or anything like that, or whatever the fuck you are. If you're from Wales, Wales, I don't know. Whatever part of the UK you're from doesn't matter. All I'm saying is that you guys are some of the most annoying fans that I've ever fucking seen. And you guys have influenced us in this country, which is just fucking bullshit all around. So, not looking for an apology, just calling you guys out and just saying thanks. Thanks for fucking nothing, you goofballs. All right. It's been your YWC champ. Signing out.